Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar on the launch day of our Storytelling with Music Island. This is a very exciting day for us. It's been a long journey and we've got there. We're very excited to share our island with you. I am Rebecca Franks, one of the co-founders of Flip Computing and Chief Learning Officer, and I'm joined by Dr. Tracy Gardner, our CTO, and Liz Smart, our Chief Experience Officer. Now, just so you know, the hands up feature on this webinar will not be used in this session. If you have any questions at all, then please email info@flipcomputing.com and we will answer them as soon as we can. And thank you to those that have provided your questions in advance on the sign-up sheet. We'll also be recording this session and adding it to our YouTube channel, so you can watch it back later if you missed something, or if you want to share it with friends or colleagues as well. So what are we going to be exploring in this webinar? Well, we're going to be looking at what actually is storytelling with music, who is it for, what do the students actually learn when they're doing storytelling with music, where does it fit in with the curriculum, how to access it, the additional resources that we have for educators, and then there will be some time for a Q&A session at the end to answer the questions that you've given us in the sign-up sheet. And as I said before, if something pops up that you have a question about, then please email us at info@flipcomputing.com, and we will put that email address up at the end as well if you have missed it. So what actually is storytelling with music? Well, in its simplest form, it is an island available on Fortnite, and we will show you how to access it and what all that means later on. It was created by myself, Tracy and Liz, who have a huge range of experience in the technology education space. And we have created storytelling with music as part of our textbooks for the Metaverse project, which has been supported by Innovate UK. And our goal was to explore how traditional textbook learning could be reimagined in a 3D immersive world. And the aim was to drive innovation in the publishing industry and explore new ways that the sector could work with the latest technological advances. And storytelling with music is a unique and exciting way to engage with learning content, and it takes that high quality structure of a textbook and moves it into 3D. The island is based around how music is used to enhance storytelling, focusing on the concept of a leitmotif, and they learn about them and then they compose their own for a chosen character. So who is the island actually for? Well, the actual game Fortnite has a PEGI 12 rating, but what some people may not know is that there are islands, games and assets that have different PEGI ratings within the Fortnite space. And these are islands that are designed by other content creators like us, also from Epic Games, and they have lower PEGI ratings. So our island actually has a PEGI rating of 3. It's also a single player island, so that means that learners can't communicate with each other within the island space. And the content really is suitable for anyone that is interested in learning about leitmotifs, and we will explore where this fits into the curriculum later on in the webinar. But we don't really want to put too much of an age range on it because it really would suit a wide range of learners. And I'm going to hand over to Tracy for the rest of the webinar.
Thanks, Rebecca. So now I'm going to tell you a bit about how learning works in storytelling with music. So we've designed this to be used in or outside an educational setting. So if you are using it in an educational setting, then it will probably be helpful to know there are a set of learning objectives that we've set out to cover with the experience. So you can see those there on the slide. So we have learning objectives related to the term leitmotif. You can see the definition there, and if you play the island, you'll get to learn a lot more about what that actually means. and the way the term leitmotif is used in storytelling. So these are knowledge and understanding based learning objectives. And then there's also a practical skills based learning objective of actually composing a musical leitmotif for a character. So we have those three different learning motifs that capture, those learning objectives that capture what you'll actually learn on the island. And then the way those learning objectives are achieved is really integrated into the immersive experience of exploring the Fortnight Island and interacting with characters. So learners learn by interacting with their environment. So you can see there's a question on the left there, and this is answered by listening to the sound in the opening scene of the experience. And we always give learners the option to think about a question and then explore the environment more before giving their answer. So this reduces guessing and encourages learners to actually make sure they find out the answer from the environment. So we do use multiple choice questions. They're used to check learners' understanding, but they're integrated into dialogues with non-player characters. So that helps to create an immersive experience for learners. So we've been able to use the Fortnight environment to create a really unique learning experience. So one of the advantages of building on the Fortnight platform is that we can make use of game mechanics that are really fun and engaging. So this means we're able to create intrinsic motivation. So the example there on the left shows items that need to be collected through learning activities. So we find that learners have that sense that they want to fill those pedestals that you see there with those items that they collect through interacting with the activities that are set for them. And then on the right, you can see that we're also able to use the patchwork music creation tools that are provided as part of the Fortnight platform. So this means that learners get practical experience of the concepts they're learning about. They actually get to create a leitmotif, that third learning objective. So the availability of these game mechanics and features in Fortnight really gave us a head start in developing this experience. It meant that we could develop a much richer learning experience for the amount of development time we had available for the project. So we found that was a really useful starting place for us for building the environment. And then where can you use this in the curriculum? So we've developed storytelling with music to fit with a number of different school subjects. So it works well with a wide range of subjects that lead to a variety of qualifications. So the key topic of leitmotif is explored in creative subjects such as drama, music, and film studies. While computing and game design students can learn a technique that makes their own games more engaging through using music. So it's also a great resource for extracurricular or out of school settings, and also for individual young people at home. So I'll now hand over to Liz, who's going to tell you how you can actually get started.
Cheers, Gracie. Hi. So the best way to experience storytelling with music is basically to use it yourself. To access it, you open Fortnight, and you can do it on a console or on a computer. And then you click on the magnifying glass tool that's there in the top left-hand corner. So you can see it in the screenshot there. Once you've done that, you type in storytelling with music, the island name, and it comes up with the island thumbnail. So you click on that and that will launch the island. Another good tip is there is a little heart on the thumbnail. If you click on that, it adds it to your favorites. And then that just means that it always appears in your easy access list as well. Now, if you want to experience it without using it for yourself, that's okay. You can do that too. So you can go to our Flip Computing YouTube channel. There's a link there on the screen, but it's basically youtube.com/@flipcomputing/playlists. And we've got 3 playlists there that are linked to the project. So the first one contains videos about the project as a whole, a trailer for the island as well. The next one has got full walkthroughs of our early prototype, so you can see like our kind of first draft before we had testing on the actual solution, And then the third playlist has got all the highlights of the changes that we made based on our Youth Voice feedback sessions. They're a great watch if you want to go in and see all the excellent feedback that the students that we talked to gave us and the changes that we made after that. Okay, and then if you're interested in other free resources as well that enhance the experience, we have a free educator pack. It's a great place to start. It's got 3 PDFs within it. So the first one is an educator guide, and it covers how to access it, how to use the island with young people as well. There is also a learner worksheet that you can use, and it's got questions that learners can answer as they progress through the island. And then there is also an answer sheet, which is always useful. So you can either use that yourself or you can give it directly to the learners after they've completed the island. So all of these resources are available at flipcomputing.com/storytellingwithmusic. You can download them individually if you just want one of them, or as a combined PDF as well. Okay, right. If you've emailed questions during the webinar, we'll respond to those today. We have got some questions, though, that have come in advance of the webinar. So we're going to do a quick fire Q&A. I'll just get the questions up. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the first one, this is probably the most frequent one that we received, is how do we get Fortnite set up in a school? So Rebecca, over to you.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So there is, if you go to the Epic Games website, then you can find the specific information there to how to get it set up. And you can actually play the game on desktop computers, tablets, Android phones, and games consoles. So whichever device you have, that as long as it plays Fortnite, you should be able to access our game.
Brilliant. Okay, so we were also asked, what are the key findings from this project? Tracy?
Good question. Yeah, so we kind of set out to see, is this possible? Is it possible to learn in this way, to teach in this way? And is the Unreal editor for Fortnite and the Fortnite platform a suitable solution for achieving that? So I think what we found is that yes, certainly we can take traditional sort of learning objectives that we might want to achieve, and actually we can even build on that and create learning objectives that are actually much more engaging. So you saw we had a really practical learning objective around actually creating a leitmotif, which we were able to achieve rather than just talking about it. We could actually achieve it. And I think importantly, achieve it in a context that's relevant to young people. So they are whether they play Fortnite or involved in other 3D experiences, most young people, we know from the data, interact with these kind of environments. So this context for the learning makes a lot of sense for them. Looking at it from an educator perspective, as a teacher, we found that you can create something that's really quite well structured and keeps learners focused and moving on to the next activity that they should be doing within the learning experience. And we found that the Fortnite game mechanic of objectives was actually really helpful. In Fortnite, objectives would be used in quite a different way, but for us, they were a really clear way of making sure that at every point, a learner knows what they're supposed to be doing now and what the options are that are available to us. And then the technical side of that, using the Unreal editor for Fortnite and the Fortnite platform. So for us, this was really interesting. So we have experience with other 3D creation platforms. And when we were using this Fortnite environment, the key difference is that you've got these game mechanics and features that help you to develop much more rapidly. So you have those things like the game mechanic of objectives that I just mentioned, and also these music creation tools, the patchwork tools. So we have those pieces. And if we'd had to develop all of that, we just couldn't have done it within the time scale of this grant funded project that we had. So it made a huge difference to us to be able to just start from that point and have something that immediately connected with the young people we're trying to reach and gave us that head start. So yeah, that's my answer for the various aspects of that question, Liz.
Real. Okay, right. The next one. Oh, okay, so this is a question I always ask about anything. Is this free to play? Are there any costs involved?
Okay. So yeah, Fortnite is free to play, and there is no charge at all for using the Storytelling with Music island that we've created. We've also got an educator pack as well, which is completely free. Obviously, there is a cost in terms of buying a device to play Fortnite with, and you need broadband access as well. So there are costs there. In terms, like, I suppose you would class them as hidden costs. You've got to make sure you've got a device and internet access, but the actual game Fortnite and our island Storytelling with Music is completely free.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. I like this one. Is there a set storyline, or is it more open-ended?
Yeah. So I think the answer to that is yes and no. So as I said, the learning experience is guided. So it isn't one of those experiences where actually that I'll just sort of back up a little bit there. When we were researching creating the island, we played lots of existing learning experiences to see what we could take from that. So we did a lot of research, and we continually found ourselves in learning experiences where we just didn't know what we were supposed to be doing. We were wandering around, we were wandering through deserts, we were just hunting through these environments. And we know as educators ourselves, you haven't got time for that in a classroom, right? You want some freedom of choice, some element of exploration, but you really don't want something that's that open. So it is not that open. So everything is very guided by these learning objectives, and these objectives that appear on your screen as you're going through the game, which really clearly show you these are the things you're supposed to be doing at the moment. We also have 3 different areas. So the learners complete one area before moving to the next. And that has a very game-like feeling when you're completing an area within a game and then other areas open up. So we very much use that mechanic. So you'll complete a set of objectives and then a portal will open up that will take you through to the next area. So within those areas, there are some non-linear elements. So it isn't just that you have to do the next thing. So you have some choice within that. So you don't get lost. There are a number of things you could be doing, but you can sometimes choose which one you do next. Now, when you get to the end and you have completed the 3 areas, then it does open up. So then there's free exploration. You can go back around, you can repeat some of the things you did and interact with some things again. And there's a fun collectibles game that you can play, which was something which was requested during our play testing. The students that we tested with just kept saying, there are all these cool places that you could hide something. Now, we did try doing that within the game, and we found that was a distraction from the learning objectives. So we made that something that opens up as an additional quest at the end. And as a teacher, it's really useful to be able to have that flexibility in scheduling. So if you've got some learners who are progressing more quickly than others, then there are still related things that they can do at the end. That means that everyone is busy and productive for the whole lesson time.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, this one we touched on a little bit, but I guess to make it clear, what age groups is this best suited for?
Okay, yeah, so because we're an inclusion first company, we really don't want to put people off if they're not like the right age, I guess, because it really is just if you want to learn about motifs, then go on and have a go with our storytelling with music. But if you do really need an age group, I'd probably say secondary school, so 11 to 16. It's kind of about right, but it really doesn't matter if they're slightly younger than that, and I imagine adults, we enjoy it. I'm sure adults will love it too. And I guess if you were doing it in a school environment, you'd probably go for more sort of the 11 to 16 age range, if you really need an age. So that hopefully that's helped to answer the question.
Okay. I think this one's from a safety angle. So can other players join the island at the same time as the students?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something we thought about a lot. So storytelling with music is designed as a single player experience. So there is only one player on the island. So there isn't that risk of students interacting with other people as part of the experience. Now, it is part of the Fortnite platform. So in Fortnite in general, yes, there are opportunities to interact with others, and there are parental controls around that. But our island specifically, no, it's just a single player experience. And that multiplayer experience and trying to provide that for educational experiences with multiple young people, that's something we would love to be able to explore in future. But you really need to get the safeguarding right. So that wasn't something that we had the capacity to do within this project. So we made that decision, single player.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got one last question. So how long does a typical session last?
Right, okay. So the quickest that we've seen someone finish the island was about 20 minutes. But there really is no upper limit, because some young people get really into composing their own leitmotif, so they might spend quite a long time doing the practicing part and then the actual and choosing their characters. And then also we've got this collectibles game at the end that could take them extra time. So the absolute fastest is 20 minutes, but really I'd probably say the average experience is around 45 minutes, pushing to an hour. But that is about right for a typical lesson and a typical set of objectives that you would have.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. So thanks everyone for the questions that you sent in before the webinar. As I mentioned, any that we receive during the webinar or afterwards, like, continue to email us and we'll get back to you about it. Thanks, Tracy and Rebecca, for answering all those as well. Okay, so that really does bring to an end our webinar. Again, I guess the main things are that the links for flipcomputing.com/storytelling of music is where you get all your free resources, and in the Fortnite platform, accessing it through searching for storytelling with music and clicking on the thumbnail, and the YouTube playlist as well. So if you go to youtube.com/flipcomputing, you will find 3 playlists there related to the project, all super useful for you to get like the full experience of storytelling with music. Thanks again. Thanks everyone for joining us. You can follow the next steps for this project in a couple of ways, but probably the easiest one is LinkedIn. If you're on it, give us a follow at Flip Computing. We'll post all our updates on there. And our website, flipcomputing.com. But yeah, we put everything on there about this project, but also all our other products and services too. And you can always email us as well. So info@flipcomputing.com. Drop us a note and we'll get back to you. Yeah, so I think all that's left is like, thank you for joining and have a great day, and let's keep in touch. Let's speak soon. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.